Hi, everyone, and thanks for joining Dieline Decoded today, where we speak with companies, designers, and brands to hear about best practices, new techniques, and new technologies to help us in our packaging design work. Today, we're meeting with Blue Bite and John Anderson. John works with consumers with products and companies to help them have better consumer experiences and also provide better consumer engagement. So, without further ado, welcome Blue Bite and John.
Thanks, Deb, and great to be with Dieline today. And very much looking forward to sharing with you and your teams on how to better leverage connected packaging strategies and solutions, and not only better engage consumers, but also gain some really great live and insightful intelligence on consumer preferences and desires. We'll continue to make better decisions on not only packaging but product development, marketing strategies, and that most important thing that Deb spoke about, consumer engagement. So connected packaging has become a little bit of a new name, a new buzzword, and it means a lot. But really what we're talking about here is opening up a direct channel with consumers in order to help drive sales and elevate your messaging, provide that instant one-on-one update on what is really happening with consumers and your products in live and real time, using the data insights on what's happening with those interactions to build longer term consumer engagement, and as well as modify and update how you're presenting, moving your products into market with contents, not just marketing content, but material content as well. That goes into sort of the long list of things that brands are really trying to accomplish, everything from improving in-store performance, gaining point of sale checkout information, what's happening in the point between the consumer picking the product up off the shelf and taking it home, and also gaining these elusive post-purchase insights from consumers interacting with products in a post-purchase, once they get it home environment, and gaining all the incredible insights from things like diversion issues, authentication issues, and all of the other data that come from people interacting physically with your products in their hand in a moment, and tracking what is going on directly between the consumer and your product and the messaging that you have tied to it. That's a really big list. It can get complicated. We're going to make it really simple for you today on how to best leverage connected packaging and connected products in a way that tidies that list up and gives you some real insightful results that are different than the way most organizations have been using QR codes and NFC tags in the past. Okay, this is the issue: is we tried that and it didn't work, or if we build this, is it really going to happen? Are we really going to get this engagement? The answer is yes. Blue Bite's done a number of studies over the past couple of years. Engagement, consumer engagement, and in particular with connected packaging, is increasing rapidly, over 1,000% over the last couple of years, and that rate is just going up year over year, as we've seen, not just in the US, but across the globe, Europe and Southeast Asia in particular. We also know that 57% of consumers are more likely to purchase a product when they're holding it in their hand and they're getting the information they want off that product in that moment. That's information that's difficult. All that information, you all know, is difficult to get on the package. So let's leverage this for that purpose. We also found that 72% showed more interest in learning about and have more desire to learn more about the products and the brand behind the product, so that they can align their values and their pocketbooks with the products that you're putting on the market. The best way to leverage and do that is to use this sustainable, scalable solution with contextual interactions, contextual experiences that are tied through this connected packaging strategy. You're able to deliver unprecedented, highly contextual experiences to consumers that are relevant to the consumer in that moment, relevant to the product, the specific product that they're holding in their hand at that moment, and when and how and where they're interacting with it. Building engagement, providing consumers information they want, when they want it, and how they want it. Uncover real actionable sales, let's say smart couponing or smart loyalty program implementations right through the product, directly in an extreme one-on-one relationship with consumers at scale. So you're accelerating sales, growing sales, reducing churn, and increasing those retention rates that are so valuable, and having the insights to be able to do that smartly and intelligently, but also gaining additional data on, is authenticity happening here? Can we validate whether or not are purchasing counterfeit goods or products, or is there gray market diversion happening, the right product in the wrong place? All of that can happen along with delivering your sustainability message, eco-friendly packaging, sustainable sourcing, et cetera, et cetera. Best practices for leveraging these QR codes or connected package strategies are here. Let's stop moving towards these static web page redirects that aren't delivering value to the consumer and aren't delivering value to you. Let's give information to the consumers that they want to need in the moment that they need it, so we can advance and leverage their engagement with you as a brand and your engagement with them as a consumer and learn more about them. For example, lots of use cases here. With product packaging becoming the new communication channel, it's when you think about this, it's an omni channel for you that moves two directions. We're able to fully engage and interact with consumers in a much more interactive and way that keeps this very important, keeps consumers coming back and interacting with your products over and over again. So, for example, let's look at a couple of use cases. Building customized experiences around things like ingredients or loyalty or exclusivity. Someone owning their in this case their bottle of Louis Trace, or being able to build up loyalty with multiple purchases of a specific product or a specific product group. Moving into things like consumer engagement at the checkout area, or enabling sales functions. We'll talk a little bit more about helping consumers interact more with your direct-to-consumer and e-commerce purchasing preferences, and making it easier for consumers to get your products in their hands more often. Talking about transparency and delivering not only your sustainability message, but the information on that specific product's ingredients, and being able to meet the farmer that grew the organic ingredients that are in this particular product, because we've got your batch and lot number information coming off it. Moving to this very critical path of really elevating and preserving your messaging, not having it diffused by the channels that you're moving through, the retailer outlets where your brands are placed, but keeping control of your messaging and making sure that consumers are receiving the information that you know is valuable to them and that they are looking for at the moment of purchase, and that they need after purchase to better utilize and exercise the advantages that your product has to offer them. Also, really important, verifying authenticity and gray market diversion issues. Consumers, before they're putting things in their body and putting things on their body, really want to know, is this the real deal, or is this perhaps a counterfeit object, or does it have stuff in it that might be harmful to me? Hard to get all of that information on the package itself. You can deliver all of that through a strong connected package strategy, little call to action to make sure consumers know this information is available to them with just a really quick tap from their mobile device. Okay. Also, engaging in repeat and related purchases. So leveraging the existing package to help consumers understand, hey, if you like the chocolate, have you tried the banana? Have you tried the strawberry? Here's a coupon for some vanilla. Whatever it is that you want to communicate to help expand the consumer's exposure to your overall brand, and all the ways that you can unlock new products and services and consumers' interest in other things, or gain insight for consumers on the kinds of things they'd like to see more of or less of. Absolutely possible with a strong connected pack strategy and a connected pack initiative that makes it easy for consumers to tell you what they want with just a quick tap or scan of your products. Let's dive in a little deeper, for example, into an e-commerce focused consumer experience. So working with Redken, we set up a dual experience. There was let's call it an in-store experience with the salon salespeople, the folks who are applying product right onto the consumer's hair, coloring products, conditioning products, styling products, and so forth. There was information on the package that the salon expert, the salesperson, could interact with and learn better how to promote and sell this product to the consumer that's sitting right there in their chair, the point of initial consumption and awareness. When the consumer then bought those products and took them home, there was an additional experience on each of the products that they brought with them that gave them insight and allowed the consumer to sort of choose the plan or the product group, the customized solution for them that's going to work best for their personal care and beauty care needs. They did that, but simply by taking the products home at the suggestion of a salon rep, interacting with the package, and then having a customized experience delivered to them based on the specific products that they were acquiring, who they acquired them from, when and where they acquired them from, and tying that together with the other products they also took home in that instance. So again, this highly contextualized, very personalized one-on-one relationship between brands and consumers, and also better engaging and keeping that message through your sales channel clean and concise, so that not only are the people representing your products better able to do so in your absence, the consumers are more able to make better decisions with real information that's relevant to them when and how they want it. Here's the great part. Consumers are having these fabulous experiences, and they're getting information delivered to them on their phone with just a quick tap or a scan. What's happening behind the scenes is Blue Byte is delivering incredible amounts of data back to your system. We're pulling information in off the product itself, serial number, batch number, G10, whatever that may be, pulling information off the device that's interacting with the product itself, and then utilizing that information to understand what other data sets, what other data lakes do we want to tap to give that consumer a really unique and fantastic experience. Maybe it's lot number or batch number information in your ERP system or your loyalty program. How many points does this consumer have, so that we can reward them for all these other fun things. Okay, real logical, logic-based, rule-based, actionable experiences that provide you data on what consumers are interested in, moves that data from the consumer's hands directly back into your systems. And we're doing that in this one-on-one communication channel at scale with every single interaction that's occurring in a way that a landing page or a web page simply cannot deliver. I mean, imagine having to create 10,000 different landing pages in order to have the kind of contextual experiences we're talking about just with that Redken example alone. Okay? You don't have to do that. With really good connected product strategies and implementing a good connected product program across the board, you're able to deliver all of your existing content in these very contextual ways, and only deliver the relevant content in the moment that's the consumer is interacting with it at that point in time. Okay? Blue Byte platform, for example, works really great in the larger ecosystem of the data sets that you're gathering. We contribute to that not only by pulling the information in contextually from the product and the individual consumer, but also pulling in all the other data points that you want from your CRM, your loyalty program, your ERP system, what have you, so that we are creating these product IDs and product identifiers that contribute to real authentication using NFC tags and QR codes. And that's it's been a bit of a magic step, but we're there for you. Gray market diversion, consumer preferences, any of the other things that might be going on in the world that you want to know what's really happening on your product journey and your client's relationship with that product through the entire journey. Okay? Best practices, implementing a good connected product strategy with these contextual experiences, so that people not only are encouraged to interact with your connected products, but they keep doing that over time, over and over again, so that you as a brand are getting the data points that you need at a statistically relevant volume over time to continue to make better decisions and improve over time, not only your product strategies, but your packaging strategies, your marketing strategies, your content strategies, anything that you're pulling together that you need consumer insight and preferences to do and improve on. Blue Byte can deliver that for you in a unique, contextual way that keeps consumers coming back. Blue Byte's here to enable your success. We provide not only a platform that allows you to accomplish all these things, but the consulting and advising services to help you set up a connected product strategy that's going to deliver the results to you and your brand that you're looking for. Looking forward to talking with you all, and let's go to some Q&A. Deb?
Hi, John. Thank you so much for that really informative presentation about connected packaging. I learned so much just in this time, so I'm really excited to ask a few questions. Want to start off, thank you again for doing this, but I wanted to start off, I'd really like to talk about a lot of the insights and tracking data you're compiling. When I was watching the presentation, a lot of what you were saying, I liked to something like advanced baseball statistics as opposed to scouts giving players the old eye tests. Tell us a little more about some of the data you compiled and how that's becoming critical for brands to have on their fingertips.
Great. So, and thank you for having me, Jess. It's been a pleasure to be here and looking forward to sharing more information with any questions or clarifications anyone's looking for, and moving on as we do. So when we're talking about data, there are so many ways that brands can gather data from these connected product, I'm going to say connections themselves. When you think about the history of connected product strategies, has been primarily connecting product information to data. So product information to supply chain information, product information to sourcing and other details around what are the components in this product, what are the materials surrounding and wrapping this product, so that brands can make better purchasing and production-based decisions. When we're talking about taking that information all the way through the product life cycle, we're extending the amount of data that can be gathered from what is happening and what's collected at the plant, and in some ways, and sometimes through a little bit of the distribution or supply chain channel, and carrying it all the way through the product's life, from supply chain through to retail, to the consumer, and then even product end of life. So brands are getting visibility into that product's journey all the way through, from the time it leaves the plant all the way through to the time that the consumer is ready to recycle the packaging or return that garment, if that's the way it's packaged, and have that available for resale. So when we talk about specific kinds of data, we're looking at information on where, when, and how a product is in its journey. When we think about distribution channel data, understanding where a particular pallet is, and has it made it through customs or not made it through customs, and putting a QR code on a pallet is a great way to make it easier for customs people to check that in, and give you insight on here's where that product is in its journey. As that pallet's broken up and individual case lots are broken up, or are starting to break out of that pallet, for example, now you've enabled your distribution channel, which you may or may not have a whole lot of control over, to also interact with codes on packaging, on outer packaging, case lots, and so forth, and provide further information and detail on where those products and now those individual cases are on their journey. And when those case lots are then broken up and put on the retail shelf, there's retailer interaction opportunity, and then finally that consumer interaction opportunity that validates all of the other data that came before it. When the consumer interacts and takes that product home, now you've got final destination point, and you know that the right product is in the right place with the right consumer. And now this is a consumer that you can begin interacting with in more detail to continue to gain data from their interactions with your product. Really important point here is that Blue Byte is pulling data in from whatever is encoded on the connecting technology, the QR code or the NFC tag, for example. We're also accessing the first-party data that's available from the device they're using to scan. And by first-party data, we're talking about publicly available information, not differentiate that from personally identifiable information, but the first-party data that's coming in off the device that we can use analytics and other analytical tools available to determine date, time, location, temperature, all of the variables that are available through the communications network and what's coming off the device itself, and combining those things together with, okay, this product is in this place at this time. Tap the organization's ERP system, for example, and say, okay, we've got the serial number or the lot number for this product. So which purchase order is this one associated with? And if the two don't line up, the purchase order should, these products should be in Paris, and for some reason they're being scanned in London. What happened? What happened in that chain of distribution that diverted those products from where they're supposed to be to where they're at? So being able to tie together multiple data points in a way, in that one example, in a way that starts telling a story that brands have not had visibility into in the past, is one of the most powerful ways that we can help brands make better decisions and understand what's really going on with not only their products, but their consumers as well. The other really powerful point here is that Blue Byte doesn't save or aggregate this, this product data or the device data or any of that. Or information that's coming down in from the organization's ERP system. The data points move back and forth through the Blue Byte platform. So Blue Byte, we like to say this is truly a brand-owned platform. And what we mean by that is this is the brand's data. This is the brand's information. This is the brand's product information. This is the brand's consumer. We don't aggregate that. We don't sell that. We don't try to use the information that the brand is gathering to and provide that to other competitors that they might have and so forth. It's all clean. It's what's legally available, and that's pertinent for the date, time, and location of scan. For example, interacting in Europe might have some different restrictions than interacting in Japan or interacting in the US. So by managing that data flow from every interaction that's happening from the plant all the way through to recycling, we're able to gather these multiple data points for as many different purposes as you can think of, and channel that through our system and right back up into the brand's data lake, so they can utilize it, manage it, and make better decisions.
Great. So we have a question from Gustavo. He's asking, what are other ways to interact with the public besides using the QR code?
Great question, Gustavo. So in Blue Byte's case, the connecting technology, or we'll call it connecting technology. So a QR code is a connecting technology. It's what creates or enables the product to have a digital form of some time in some other place. So QR code would be one connecting technology. An NFC tag would be another connecting technology. NFC tags are small wireless transmitters with long life that wake up when you can or SCAP them. Very simple. Very similar to what happens when you use Google Pay, for example, to check out at a restaurant or a grocery store. Same technology functioning there. Other tools that we might interact with would be barcode readers or Bluetooth tags, if that is the option that's going to deliver the best information to the brand. Where brands want to be really careful is that there's a lot of different technologies that carry different kinds of information at different times. But you want to make sure that you're tagging your products, the connecting technology you're using on your products makes it the easiest as possible for people to interact. So if you're using Bluetooth technology, for example, you have to find some way to connect the device that's interacting with the same Wi-Fi network, or the device needs to be able to find that Bluetooth item before it can interact with it and have the whole experience move forward. Same with barcode readers. Not a lot of mobile devices, not a lot of consumers have barcode reading technology on their phone. Most telephones now, you can use your camera to scan a QR code and pick that information right up, or your NFC tag, because you've got that enabled for your Google Pay or Apple Pay purchases that you're making. So keep in mind that the connecting technology that's best for the product is going to depend on, there's a range of factors, and we'd love to talk with people about the factors that might be best for what it is they're trying to accomplish and guide them in that, steer them in that direction. But that connecting technology should be focused first on what is going to make it the easiest, fastest, and simplest for people outside of our organization or outside of our control to interact. And that's what's going to improve interaction rates. Call to actions around those tags will also improve interaction rates. And those increased interaction rates will get brands the data and more of the data that they need to make better decisions.
Great. Thank you. Thank you, Gustavo, for that wonderful question as well. We have a question from Kevin. He wants to know, when you say, can you imagine having to build 1,000 different landing pages? How does Blue Byte system deliver all the different media without 1,000 different landing pages?
Great. Great question. So when you think about all the types of content that a brand and information that a brand wants to deliver to organizations, they have most of that available in a lot of their existing content now, whether they're pushing that out through social media channels, whether that's videos or other enticement or attraction content that get people to understand that the product exists and all the benefits of it. But there's also technical information like how to use, dosing information for particular foods. Maybe you want to get your nutrient and ingredient information better displayed and better viewable along with the package, but you've got a really small package and it's hard for people my age to read. Okay? Any of the information that the brand already has and wants to communicate in a more effective way can be loaded into the Blue Byte platform. We have an element on that called the Blue Byte Studio. That studio takes all of the existing content and whatever new content the brand might want to develop, and that could be training documents, technical documents, videos, promotional information, loyalty enrollment programs, even the brand's e-commerce site, if they want to pull that into the experience that the person's having. We take all of those and consider them components. And then those components are displayed based on the rules the brand sets for when this type of interaction happens, show this information. So say, for example, I'm buying a bottle of 50-year-old scotch. It's maybe the same lot number is coded onto that bottle, and there's 12,000 bottles of that running around the world. I take that bottle, I take it home, and I interact with it, and I'm in New York, and so I get an experience for, hey, New Yorkers, welcome to our brand. Here's some history. Here's some specifics on this particular bottle of scotch and the barrel that it came out of and the lot that it came out of, and here's the farm that grew the ingredients that came into this and made the charcoal that this was filtered through, et cetera, et cetera. That's great. And then I interact with it again in a couple of weeks, and I've got information now to show my friends and a different thing. It's the same code, but I'm going to get different content because I'm interacting with it at different dates or different times. That same code that's on the same lot number that someone buys in Chicago can have a completely different set of interactions because they're in Chicago. And maybe there's a sale going on at one of their distributors in the Chicago area that week. And because that bottle is being interacted with that week in Chicago instead of New York, I can say, hey, run down to this location for more of this. And maybe here's a coupon for you. Okay. The second time that person in Chicago interacts with that bottle a week or two from now, they're not going to get a coupon, and they're not going to get information about running down to the store. They're going to get more history, more additional information on how to enjoy it, maybe some other pairings, whether it's better on ice or not, all the other information that the brand wants to do. And they can do that at any time in any way. It's really fairly simple. I like to call it almost drag and drop technology for once you get the elements loaded into the platform, you have all the control on how to manipulate what elements show up at one point in time based on the interaction attributes in that moment.
Great. Dino from Deutsche Family Wine and Spirits is asking kind of like a summary of everything. So what technology drives this connected packaging? Is it simply the QR code? If so, does Blue Byte then manage all the data those scans generate in a one-stop shop platform for us to view?
Hey, Dino, great question. And the short answer is yes. So the most challenging part of initiating a connected packaging strategy is getting the product connected in the first place. So making sure that you're choosing the right connecting technology, whether it's going to be an NFC tag or a QR code or some combination of that. Maybe you have NFC tags on the bottles of wine and an NFC tag on your case lots. All that's going to depend on what you're trying to track and what kind of information you want to gather as this product's moving through its channel. Once that's set up, and we can absolutely support and work with you through that, Blue Byte has the opportunity, and working with us together, we will work with you on the whole journey of getting not only the object identified and the object, we call it our object manager, another tool in the Blue Byte platform, managing those objects as they're going through their life, enabling new ones, disabling ones that are sold or past their useful life, changing the messaging around those, changing how particular serial numbers might need to be changed over their product life. Maybe a bottle that reaches the 50-year-old element, you want to you have a different experience for that than you do for the ones at 20 years. Object management is all part of that process. Setting up all your content, getting all your content loaded into the studio, and arranging the rules around setting up what we're going to call experiences is all part of the service that Blue Byte provides. So we are not just a product or a platform with patented technology that does a lot of unique things. We also provide an intense and very customer-focused service to make sure what you're trying to accomplish is set up and running so that as soon as your products leave the plant and are ready to be live out in the world, you're getting the data that you want and your clients are having the experience that you need them to have.
Great. Renee also has a question. Similar to QR codes, is there a way to get data on scans of an AR marker?
Well, that's a really interesting question, and I love this one. The development of Web3 technology and digital representations of products, and sometimes products that are just digital alone, is coming around and it's moving very fast. We're having conversations with organizations that are looking at creating digital products first and then converting them to physical products, rather than the method that we're all more familiar with, is having a physical product and converting it to a digital form. So the short answer, Renee, is yes. So we'd love to talk with you more about how we can accomplish that. When you have a digital product, or digital representation of a product, or it's a digital product solo by itself, the only thing we would want to sort of look at differently is recognize this is a product in its own right, in its own way, and it has value as it is. So how do we then connect that product with the experiences and the data that you need to gather as your consumers or other people are interacting with it online instead of interacting with it in person while they have it in their hand? If that product then is converted to a physical product, or a physical representation is manifested from the digital product that's being designed, it's really easy to connect the physical product and the digital product together and manage the experiences for both units at the same time. But it goes back to us being a little agnostic on sort of the connecting technology. You have a QR code, great. You have an NFC tag, great. You have a digital representation of a product, great. We're good.
Great. And the last question here is from Caroline. Can there be multiple layers of protection that all link back to a singular code? For example, can QR and RFID be linked together if one ends up begin removed by diverters? If one
Absolutely.
ends up, yeah, okay,
Yeah.
we got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I got it right. So yes, and just to rephrase the question to make sure we have it. So,
Yeah.
does it make sense sometimes to have duplicate or multiple connection technologies on a product in case, for example, the QR code is duplicated by counterfeiters, or a product is diverted, and you want to have a backup tag on there that more uniquely identifies or creates a unique product identifier? Or maybe the QR code is compromised in some way, or the RFID tag, the NFC tag somehow fails, or what have you. Yes, that's very possible. I want to say very doable in tying the information coming off both of those codes to a singular product or product group, whether it's a case lot or a series, products manufactured on a specific date, or the entire SKU number. So individual product all the way up, all good. There's also a number of ways that we can work with, for example, a QR code and a standard QR code, by adding some different elements to it and putting some data-based controls in place. We can help identify whether or not the QR code has in fact been duplicated and put on multiple other products. And then with a simple 2 or 3 step process by the consumer, without them having to download an app, we'd be able to identify whether or not that QR code has been duplicated and applied to a counterfeit product or otherwise. So these are new technologies that are coming out, and new ways of working with the existing technology that are coming together in order to satisfy this incredible need. Counterfeiting, as we know, is a huge financial issue across the board, and it's on everything from bars of soap to handbags by Bulgari, right? So how do we help control that? We have a lot of options for you. We can absolutely do that either with one of the technologies, or, to your point, Renee, utilizing a couple of different technologies at the individual product level, the case lot level, the pallet level. However, we need to combine that and aggregate that data to get you the security that you need to make sure consumers have authentic products in their hands and aren't going to cause harm to you or them by consuming them. So, okay.
These are great questions. I'm really happy that
They are.
have taken you've taken the time to answer them for everyone. But we are wrapping this up. I know that everybody might have more questions, but is it possible to share your email to the people here if they didn't get their questions answered, or if they want to email you directly?
Absolutely. So, and happy to chat with anyone about challenges or problems, or maybe things you've tried before that didn't quite go the way you wanted to. We probably have some answers and solutions for you. My direct email is John, Jon, at bluebyte.com.
Okay,
And
I'm going to
that's,
put it here
I
in the
just
chat for
drop it
everyone.
right there in the chat. If and please reach out. Happy to chat, or me or one of my team members who are all specialists in helping set up these connected product strategies and combining solutions. We'd be more than happy to get back in touch with you and see what we can do to solve your problems.
Absolutely. And then I'm also adding your Instagram account if people want to take a look at your Instagram and see more information. So I'm going to add that on here for everybody. And I'm really grateful that you were able to do this for us. This is a definite future forward decoded episode about connected packaging and what this is all about. And I think there is a lot of good information here for our readers, and I hope everyone enjoyed it. Again, Jon, thank you so much for taking the time to do this with us. We really appreciate it.
Wonderful. Thank you, Jess. It was a pleasure to be here, and look forward to more.
Great. And then this episode will be, we've recorded it, so it will be on the website, and we'll send emails to everybody if they missed out on something or you couldn't make the full episode. We'll have it on demand on the site shortly. Thank you.
Thank you.